Starting in 2 minutes. Ow! And once you've had enough of the leopard duck, why wouldn't you want a cupcake rubber ducky? Oh, I mean, it's just what? Cassidy Noblett. Mm-hmm. Did you guys see what she said? Terrible. Well, I mean, listen. Hi, guys. Okay. The rubber ducky squad is here. Two more. Y'all have a whole bag of them. There's tons of them. So, I'll let you guys just chill. I'm going to put them up and then we'll start. All right. Okay. Well, good morning. Oh, sorry, there's morning light coming in. Hi, everyone. Well, hope you're good. This is Bluesy. Everybody say hello to Bluesy. He loves coffee, and so do I. So he is my coffee buddy. Oh, I'm so excited. Thanks, Bluesy, for keeping my coffee warm. I usually go to Starbucks. I can't go to Starbucks. They only do grab and go right now. And I was like, let me just make my own. So, hi guys, good morning. I'm going to just put Bluesy over here on the table. So, I know that there is a lot of panic and scariness that's going on with the coronavirus. And, the best thing that we can do as artists is figure out how to be creative, continue to keep educating ourselves, to take care of ourselves, and just be smart. So a wonderful thing about these seminars is education, right? So what we're doing is we're taking in information, we're learning more stuff. So the way that I kind of approach this whole situation with the coronavirus is when you're in dance class and say you've gotten injured and you have to sit down and take notes. This is how I'm kind of approaching the situation is I'm not able to go to a dance studio. I'm not able to go do public events or shows or performs or go on set or anything. So I'm going to make my house me sitting down and taking notes. It's going to be awesome. So, a couple quick notes before we kind of dive in, because the seminar today is going to be on life in LA, living here, what it takes, what it's like, what can I do, should I be prepared for. So if you can, for your questions, if you can just wait till the end to post them, because there's no way I'm going to be able to go, what did he say? Yeah, I don't want to do that. So at the end, we'll open it up for question and answer. So just get a piece of paper, pen. I mean, I feel like you should have a notebook anyway if we're going to go over some stuff. So here, go get a notebook and some paper. I'll wait for a second. You should have a little Bluesy on it. Hi, Bluesy. Bluesy Cafe, that's his name. Oh, look at his little face. He's so cute. Japanese are the best. Okay, I'm back now. So, hope you got your paper. So, if we can just save questions and answers until the end. And then, also, if you have decided that you are training at home, I have a house class going on tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And it'll be on there. It's a quick 4/8, guys. I break it down really simple and quickly, and I think you should try it. Okay, so here we go. Living in Los Angeles. So I think kind of the main thing is that one thing that I love about the Commercial Dance Intensive is the fact that what we've done is taken a group of artists, choreographers, directors, people who had to figure out about the business without having someone teach them. So what we're trying to do is send all this information that we've kind of gathered over our lifetime. I mean, I'm only 22, so the last 3 years that I've been working. and share it with you guys, because we want to make sure that you can have the best possible career and be the most intelligent, well-prepared artist that you can, so that what you can do is focus on your talent, your gift, your craft. Okay? So when I moved to Los Angeles, I was with Rhapsody's company, and we came out here to do a carnival piece. And so I came out to LA, I did this carnival piece, and I was like, oh, this is where I have to be. I'm moving right away. So I did. And the crazy thing about it is that when I moved to LA, I didn't know anybody. And that's always a hard thing, I think, especially for parents, is, well, you're going to move to Los Angeles, you don't know a single person. That's okay. Why? Because now you have a full blank canvas to paint whatever picture you want. You can carve out your own path and dimension and way that you want to move in this industry based on everything that feels right to you. That's awesome. So I came out here not knowing a single person. Maybe I knew like one or two people. But what my goal was, I was determined not to have to use anybody to figure out what's going on. I'm like, I'm just going to make this myself. Why? Because no one's going to know what classes I want to take. No one's going to have the schedule that I'm going to have. No one's going to do the things that I'm going to do. So that's what I did. I kind of just paved my way out here. And I had gotten an agent in New York, and we're going to kind of dive into all of those fun, exciting things in a second. But because I had already had an agent in New York for 3 years prior to moving to LA, when I came out here, though, I switched agencies. And I got with an agent, and I really let them help guide me on what does my resume need to look like? Where do I need to get my pictures? How do I do these things? What should I do? What do you need from me? And from that solely, I just started working. And the way I started working was getting a name for myself. And that wasn't a name because of jobs. That was a name based off my character and my hard work. So I would hop in as many classes as I possibly could. I was taking 2 or 3 a day, 5 or 6 days a week. And what that did is allowed me to start seeing what is out there. How can I start polishing the tools that I already have? How can I grab new things from other people? And how can people get to know me? And then I was going to every possible audition that was out there. I know that Casey talked about auditions yesterday, which is wonderful. So please go check that out on the IGTV if you missed it. You can never have enough information about this. And again, with information, we're going to offer what we think has helped us. And what you have to decide is what things work for you and what things don't. So what we say is not right and paramount. It's our opinion and our point of view on what has helped us. Okay? So remember that. Figure out what works for you and what you want from that, and then develop your own life pathway, art, and career. So I would go to every audition possible, even if I wasn't right for it. Why? Because I say this all the time. Your art and your craft cannot be put into a box. It cannot be put into a category, which means what you have special inside of you, that voice that is non-physical, that is this magic, this presence, this impactful kind of expression, cannot be put into a label of a height, whether you're male or female, a skin tone, any of those things. It's bigger than that, okay? So remember that. So I always say go out for every possible thing that you can, because you can change minds with the power that you have inside of you, okay? So I would audition, and slowly things started to happen, and then, I started to build a name for myself. And once you kind of start working, other doors start opening, because people are able to say, oh, well, they're on Beyonce's tour. Great, let's just hire them. So things like that will start to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's kind of get into the nitty-gritty of Los Angeles. So when you move to LA, I think one of the most important things that you have to do, one, is figure out where do you want to live. Okay. When you move to LA, there are tons of dance studios now, and most of them are in the Valley. So my recommendation to you is move to the Valley, which could be North Hollywood, Studio City, Van Nuys, Sherman Oaks, Toluca Lake, any of those places. And the reason is this: it puts you much closer to all the dance studios. It's a bit more of a neighborhood, so it's not so much the city life of like New York, where you're around restaurants and bars and all those kinds of things. It's very kind of residential. It's safe. Stay south of Burbank, folks. And oh, and I just broke my pen. Ladies and gentlemen. Bluesy, you're amping me up. So, figuring out where you want to live. So, the Valley is a great place because it's a bit cheaper. Also, you can move in with a friend. Say you have someone who's moving out here. Get an apartment together. Make your rent cheaper. Or put some feelers out and ask people if they know anybody that's looking for a roommate. Because what you want to do is you want to feel like you're safe. But you want to be in a place that is convenient for you to get to your auditions, to get to your training. And in the Valley, there's everything. There's food, there's restaurants, there's gyms. There's your classes, there's movie theaters, there's everything to do in the Valley. And then, if you decide you want to move out, great. But that's a great place to start, is in the Valley, okay? Let me take a sip of Bluesy. Couldn't go to Starbucks, but I made my own. Okay. So, you move to the Valley, you figure that kind of out. Sometimes I think it's really important, if you're going to move to Los Angeles, that you kind of move with a little bit of a nest egg. And what I mean by that is save up a bit of money before you move if you decide this is where you want to come. And the reason is you have auditions that are happening all the time, and you're having classes that are happening every day. One of the most important things about breaking into the business is being able to be seen by people. And that means not missing your classes, not missing your auditions because you have work. That is the most important thing, because people start to develop a sense of getting to know you and your dancing. You have to be seen in order for that to happen. So, I say come out with a bit of money that you have saved up or that your parents have given you, whatever the option is, and it allows you to not have to go to work and miss all of these things. Okay? It means that you can take as many classes as you want, you can go to many auditions you want, you have enough money to afford your rent, you have enough money to afford your food, you can pay for your classes, you may have to buy audition clothing, you may have to get new headshots, you're going to have to print your resume out, you're going to need a little bit of money to do some things like go to the movies, go to some concerts, go to museums, do some things in the business that keep your source flowing, that keep your place that you pull from full. Okay? So, you move out here, you've now decided where you're going to live, you have a little bit of money. Now, if you have to get a job, that's also okay. If you have to get a job, what I recommend is something that is not going to suck your soul away. Do something that's possibly in the industry. I know a lot of people don't like to work retail, but when you work at a store that has things that you may need, you get discounts and stuff on that. So working at a retail store that you can get your audition clothes from, like Topshop, H&M, wonderful places to do. A lot of people work in restaurants and bars because they can make a lot of money and not have to work as many days and hours. That's always an option. You could work as a secretary at a music place. You could work at a gym. What's great about working at a gym? Free membership. And that means you're always around fitness, which means you're always going to take care of yourself. So that saves that cost. Work at a dance studio out here. And I'm going to go through a lot of the dance studios that we have. You can be on the work-study program, which means you can work and also get classes then. Or depending on the way the studio works, maybe you work for every hour you work, you get to take a class. Or every hour you work, you get to take a class for this amount of money. Jump into something like that. Because what I want you to do is to make sure that whatever you're doing in Los Angeles is keeping you in alignment and walking down the path of your career. Sometimes people get jobs out here that don't make a lot of sense to them, and their energy and their soul just starts to deteriorate because they're not getting to do what they love. And so what I recommend is that you find something that's in your lane. Work at a music store. Work at Amoeba Music. It's a giant music store that has DVDs, CDs, records, everything. At least you're around and exposing yourself to things in the art. Work at a museum gallery. Work at, work at a fun place. Work at like Dave & Buster's, or work at like the trampoline, Sky Trampoline, I don't know, Universal, anything. Cool. So, once you kind of get to Los Angeles, now you know where you're going to live, you have a little bit of money going on. Do you need a car? That's up to you. Now, because of Lyft and Uber, it's made things a lot easier. I recommend having a car, and the only reason is because I like to be in control of my schedule and my timing. So I have a car. I think it's very important to do that because you get calls so last minute for things. Great, can you be at an audition in 2 hours? Sure can. You can also do that with Uber and Lyft. So I leave that up to you what you want to do. The public transportation system here, we have a subway that goes in the valley over to kind of towards Hollywood and then over towards Silver Lake. It can get you back and forth to certain places, but subway system is not, it's good from getting you to the valley to Hollywood. For me, that's kind of about it. The bus system is fine, but you have to prepare and make sure that you have time to do that if you decide. So, is it better to do Uber and Lyft because you do $5 here, $4 here, $3 here, and you don't have to pay car insurance, you don't have to get gas every week? I don't know. You don't have a car payment. I leave that up to you, but these are things that I want you to start thinking about. Also have conversations with your parents about. Okay, so now you know where you're going to live. You kind of know what you're doing with your money situation, and you kind of know about your transportation. So what to do once you get here? Well, the things I recommend are this. Get an agent. How do we get an agent in Los Angeles? Well, there's two different ways. A lot of agencies, my agency now is by recommendation only. So meaning I'm with Go-To Talent Agency, which is GTA, which is Lisa Lindholm and Terry Lindholm and Julie, and it's a really wonderful team there. And they only accept people who have been recommended to them. So they'll take a meeting with someone that has said, hey, Lisa, I've got this girl, her name's Jenny, I think she's a great dancer. She's looking for representation. I'd love if you could just take a look at her. Will you have a meeting with her? Absolutely, great. So some agencies are recommendation only, and then other ones have auditions twice a year. It could be every 6 months. So it could be like fall and winter, fall and spring, or summer and winter. It could be like that. And you just go to these auditions. A lot of the times to find out about them, you can follow people's Instagram pages, like all the agencies, you can follow their pages. Sometimes there are little boards at the dance studios that have flyers up about Carnival or Jeté, which are places where people are putting on numbers or performing, discounts for gyms, all these kinds of things. And they may have listed a flyer that talks about an agency audition that's coming up. Also word of mouth. Everything gets around in Los Angeles. So for a group of people that don't have representation, they're listening out for that. So you'll find it. Now, to be a part of an agency, the one thing I want you to think about is this. Find an agent or an agency that understands who you are as an individual, knows how to promote you, and knows what you want to do and will fight for you. Okay? That is super important. And I think that is a personal thing that you have to figure out for yourself. So when I moved to Los Angeles, I took meetings with tons of agencies. I think I met with like 5 or 6 agencies. The first agency I met with was MSA, where Lisa was originally. And when I walked in, I was like waiting in the lobby for a second, and then they were like, Cassidy, come back. And when I walked in, I sat at a table. I sat at her work table with tons of files on it. She was working. She pulled up a chair, sat down, and she's like, so tell me about yourself. And I was like, this is where I want to be. Why? Because it was the feeling that I had. However, I still continued to go to other agencies, had meetings with them, and I just knew that that was the fit that I wanted to do. So it's a gut feeling that you have to have when you go there. And when you are meeting with an agent, I want you to feel like you have that comfort to talk to them about anything. Some things you may want to ask an agency when you go. So you don't just want to let them ask you questions, but I want, for the questions they're probably going to ask you, like, what do you want to do with your career? Meaning, who do you want to perform with? Where do you want to perform? Do you want to do television? Do you want to do film? Do you want to do commercials? Do you want to do print? Do you want to work with artists? Do you want to do sitcoms? Do you want to do industrials? Do you want to do club show? Whatever these things are, start thinking about the things that make you happy. What are the ways that you want to express yourself in your career? That's number 1. 2, they're probably going to ask you, what is your look? How do you kind of see yourself? And they're going to kind of see that from looking at you in your headshots. But what I want you to think of is that you have to have an image when you come to Los Angeles. And it doesn't necessarily have to be edgy, but what it does have to be is a statement. You do need to have something, a look, especially if you want to do a lot of things, that can also be edgy, but that can also be all-American. Meaning, you want to go out for a Disney, Nickelodeon, High School Musical, Descendants kind of situation, and you have to look that way. But then you may also then all of a sudden want to dance in a burlesque show or dance for Beyonce and Shakira or J-Lo, and you need to look a bit sexier. I think there's a way to find a look, an outfit, a makeup, a haircut, a hair color that allows you to blend and do both things. The reason you want to do that is because you want to be marketable. You never want to be told, no, you just don't look like the right fit. Okay, cuts back. Your talent and your craft and your art cannot be put into a box. So by figuring out what the outside looks like is your way in to letting people see your talent. So you have to be smart about it. Make sure that you dress the part, you look the part, and I'm spitting everywhere. You probably can't see it, but I can see it flying. Maybe I'm just a little parched. Hold on. You and Blues, you're going to have some coffee. So good. Okay, so remember, we're trying to give you the best possible option to work and share your talent, okay? Now, so let's say you've met with a couple agencies. They've kind of asked you some questions. What questions would you want to ask an agent? Well, what I would want to ask them, or what I did ask them is, who do you represent? I want to know what choreographers you work with. Why? Because if there's a possibility that you have 2 or 3 choreographers that I'm dying to work with, I'm going to want to go with your agency. Why? Because the jobs that they get are going to be more preferable to hire the people within their family. So ask them who they represent. Ask them what outlets they have, meaning like, do you guys do commercials? Do you do print? Do you do industrials? What clients do you work with? Great. Oh, well, we also, we work with Royal Caribbean, or we work with, we represent Gil Doldelau, who does Janet Jackson, or, we represent Luther Brown, who works with everybody. Ask them these questions, because what you're trying to do is figure out as well, if I get with an agency that has many things that I'm interested in, then I'm going to have more of a shot and opportunity to work in those avenues. So push for that. So who do you represent? What avenues do you have? Like, what are your clients? How can you help market me? Meaning, can you point me in the direction of like what my resume should look like? When I sat down with Lisa and I decided, I was like, I'm going to sign with you guys. They gave me a residency. They gave me a resume of an artist, and they were like, here, this is what your resume can look like. Build it off of this. And I looked at it, and I was like, mine had all school stuff. It was like North Carolina School of the Arts, unsung Sean Sullivan. It had like, little theater things that you had done in your town. And the resume they gave me was a girl that was like Beyonce, Rihanna, Janet. And I was like, it was like 25 things of nothing but high-level jobs. And I was like, why does it look like this? It's not going to look like this for a while. So ask them, how do you want my resume to look? Because each agency may have their own style as well. And say, listen, I know that I'm going to need new pictures. They're probably going to tell you need them because there's a certain look in Los Angeles as far as what submitting is. And then they say, who can you recommend that you think I should go to? What photographer should I use? That's great. You want to ask them that, okay? Also ask them about, like, how can I learn about, do you have any places that you can point me for if I want to do acting classes? Or do you have any things if I want to work in this field or this and that? Let them guide you. So use them. Somebody that you feel comfortable talking to, and someone that gets you and is going to fight for you, okay? And the biggest thing about an agency is this. If an agency asks you to pay them money to be a part of their agency, that is a scam, okay? I repeat. If an agency tells you that there is a fee to join or that you have to pay to be a part of the agency, that is a scam. The agent only makes money when you are working. So most of your jobs will say, let's say it's going to be a $1,000 job plus 10% agency fee, okay? Sometimes on lower budget jobs, if it's like, it's a $300 job, but the money's going to come out of the agent, your agency fee is going to come out of that because it's such a low budget, that may happen. But almost 95% of the time, it's going to be your rate plus 10% agency fee. heard dripping, and I had a leak in my house earlier, like a couple months back over there, and I'm like, let me just make sure it's not raining. No, it's outside the window. Okay, no need to panic, everybody. No need to panic. I literally heard just drip, 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 and I was like, oh, my ceiling's gonna cave in. Okay, I'm back. So, you never pay to join an agency. Got it? Okay, I think we're pretty good there. Let's keep pushing on. Some other things I want to talk to you about. Oh, Casey talked to you about auditionings. Taking class. Okay. When you get to Los Angeles, I want you to take as many possible classes as you can. I want you to take house. I want you to take popping. I want you to take locking. I want you to take voguing or whacking. I want you to take ballroom classes. I want you to take hip hop. I want you to take jazz funk. I want you to take ballet. I want you to take, there's not a lot of modern classes or contemporary classes out here, but there are some. African classes. I want you to take a little bit of everything, because as we're starting to move through the business, if you want to do a big job like a tour or even like a feature film, it's really important to be diverse in so many different avenues. And this city is a big city of trends. So when you start to train in everything, as a new trend approaches and starts to become popular, you already have a little bit of language and verse in that. So what I found for myself, like house dancing is becoming big. Circus, like I started taking pole classes because I worked on a show in Vegas for a little while, and I started to learn pole, and all of a sudden pole started to become big. What I want you to do is start to take as many different styles as you can, so that your artistry and craft not only allows you to fuse all of these different things together when you're performing, but it allows you to be prepared for your auditions and for jobs. Because the one thing I've never wanted to do is have to say, I don't know how to do that, or no, I don't do that. Absolutely not. The answer is yes, I sure do. Even if you don't know how. But if you at least have taken a little bit of training in all of these different areas, then you at least understand a little bit about the language, enough to fake it to get by. Okay? I haven't tapped in 15 years. I think I stopped tapping when I was 15 or 16 years old with my mom. Me and my sister loved to tap. I just didn't have that like passion that my mom had. And then like 3 years ago, I had an audition, a tap audition for an Amazon TV show, and I was like, oh my God, I'm tapping. And I got the job. I hadn't tapped in maybe 16, 17 years, but I had a little bit of language about it. And what also helped is that I had worked with this choreographer once, like 10 years prior, on like a Bugaboo stroller commercial. And all of those things start to play in. Okay, so the purpose of this is take as many things as you can. Now, there are tons and tons and tons of studio in Los Angeles now. So I'm just going to throw some to you. So you've got Debbie Reynolds, you've got Millennium, you've got Movement Lifestyle, Playground LA, Edge, West Coast Dance Theater, IDA, The Sweat Spot, T. Millie, I teach at T. Millie. T. Millie, Creative Minds, IAF. SPG is like more of a rental place, but they are teaching some classes. I'm a Space, Fusion Force. I mean, I may even be leaving some out. There are tons of studios in Los Angeles right now, so you can take classes everywhere. Okay? That's good. What I want you to do when you're taking these classes, I also want you to find people that teach. Okay? It is very popular in Los Angeles. And again, this is not right or wrong. This is just my opinion on it. There are a lot of classes in Los Angeles due now to social media and people that are working that may be pretty new to the business and new to this kind of industry and already are teaching classes. Sometimes they have a really good place. Some people are meant to be teachers. Some people are meant to have a voice. But what I want you to do is find someone that can really teach. Someone that's had experience and that can prepare you for the jobs that you're going to do. Meaning, if you're just taking from a teacher that has really cool movement, not a bad thing. I think there's a deeper class for you that you can take from someone who doesn't just have a lot of followers on Instagram and has never worked. Because working with the choreographers and teachers that maybe were also dancers already in this business, they can prepare you for the different mediums that you're going to work in. Meaning, how do you work on an industrial? How do you work on a music video set? How do you work for a sitcom? How do you work for a tour show? How do you work for a feature film? How do you work for just a live club show? How do you work for live stage in an NBA game? How do you do whatever these things are? I think it's really important to work with people that can prepare you for those avenues and not just someone that has a hype and a lot of followers, okay? Some of those teachers are great, but what I encourage you to do, take them, try them out, and see if you feel a really deep quality with that, okay? Also, I want you to take classes that are hard for you. I don't want you to just take classes that you can smash. And that is becoming very popular right now because in Los Angeles, as you know, the class is always filmed. Now, this is a skill that you're going to learn. Most of you are going to be great at it now because you're on social media all the time. You're always learning about this and how to pose and what does my face look like. Great. But since the product, everybody posting their classes is on, a lot of people only take classes they know that they can smash so that they look good on film or can be in the last group that's going to be on film. I encourage you to keep pushing your craft and your talent and evolving that. And if you're not in a lot of videos, that's okay. Why? Because there's going to come a time where you can do everything and people are going to die to have you in their videos. But work on the training first, okay? Push that. So, there, we've got some studios in Los Angeles. We've got the agents, where to live. Teachers. Let me just give you some teachers. I mean, I have a lot of teachers and choreographers that I really respect and like. But I'm just going to throw out some that maybe you can look into. Tavares Wilson, Kevin Maher, Shawnette Hurd. Oh, so good. Super Dave has a good freestyle class. Rhapsody teaches. Kenny Warmald. When Misha Gabriel's teaching or Nick Bass is teaching is great. Lee Daniel, Dana Foglia, get into her program. She will whip you into shape. I love her. Dana Wilson, Ray Bassa, when Calvert teaches, Matt Cady, Miguel Sadate, Alex Fetbroth, Karan, Marty, Rich and Tone, Galen, Victor, Luther Brown, Brian Friedman. These are all people that you can take from, okay? Mind you, there are tons of great classes out here, so I'm going to be missing. There's probably maybe another 30 teachers, but these are some. Now, one thing you also have to do when you're in the business, I need you to do your research, meaning I want you to know who is working. Know the dancers that are working and also know the choreographers that are working. The reason you want to do that is because you want to be prepared. When you go to an audition, I think it's really important to know what the choreographer has done and where they have come from because that gives you a little insight into what the movement's going to be, how they probably run their auditions, and what you can expect. Because I think the biggest thing that I find with auditions is how people get nervous. How do they it's like squirrel. It was like a piece of, like a feather was like, it distracted me. Shocker. God, I lost my train of thought. No, I'm just kidding. So when you're working with the choreographers, I want you to know about them. Because at auditions, that's kind of the scariest place. You walk in, there's people stretching. I get intimidated at every audition I go to. Why? Because I just want to do a good job. But I see people stretching and like freestyling and stuff, and I get real nervous and blah, blah, blah. But when I feel like I know about the person that's getting ready to run this audition, I know that I have a better leg up because I'm going to know a little bit about what their movement style is, who they're working for, and then I may know about what the job is going to be. Meaning like, oh, okay, this is Jerry Slaughter and he's choreographing for Christina and that's what they're looking for. I'm going to watch her stuff. I'm going to see how things go. So prepare yourself for the auditions. So choreographers, I think it's important. Let me throw out some to you, okay? I just threw my pen. Nick and RJ, Rich and Tone, Jerry Slaughter, Gil Dodelau, Brian Friedman, Luther Brown, Rhapsody, Lorian Gibson, Brian Burke, Tony Testa, Mia Michaels, Amy Allen, AJ, Ahmad Jones, Mandy Moore, Marguerite Derricks, Kenny Ortega, Jamal Sims, Chris Scott, Nappy Tabs, Richard Jackson, Jaquel, Chris Grant, Hi-Hat, Jamaica, Tanisha Scott, Chuck Maldonado, Travis Payne, Mikey Minden, Tice Diorio, Fatima, Ryan Heffington, Galen. I mean, there are tons of people. Charm, lots of wonderful choreographers. But I just want you to do your research because I want you to understand and know what's happening in the industry, know who's working in the industry, and also then what you need to do to hopefully work for them. Okay, cool. So we've kind of talked about some of those things. One thing I'm going to also ask of you is I want you to make sure, whenever you come out here, that you are always putting your best foot forward. Now, what does that mean? Best foot forward. That means that now, due with social media and things that are going on, it's very important that you present yourself in the best light. Meaning, you want to make sure that what you post, you can stand by and be proud of. Okay? Also, something that's not going to hurt you, because a lot of casting directors and production people are now going through Instagram pages, finding people and booking them from that. I know I got pitched for a job with my agency, and they were trying to pitch me as a choreographer, and they're like, actually, sorry, they found someone on Instagram. They just found them on Instagram. So, that's the way the business works now. So I want you to be able to stand by and be proud of what you have on your page. Your best foot forward. That means you have to take care of yourself. And by taking care of yourself, I mean, I want to make sure that not only are you focusing on the outside, meaning you make your look always look good, you're healthy. Now, I'm going to say this is a requirement, doesn't have to be, but going to the gym or doing some kind of fitness activity outside of dance, whether you want to do Pilates, whether you want to do yoga, whether you want to go work out at a gym, whether you want to do floor bar, whether you want to do the class passes that you can go take and do all of these different things, Dove Body. I want you to make sure that you feel good about yourself. And that does not mean that being this skinny is what it is. The best thing about our business is they hire all shapes and sizes, all heights, that would be shapes and sizes, color, skin tones, hair color, all of those things, okay? There is no one like you. Remember that. That's what my agent said to me. I said, when I asked her, when I was trying to figure out if I wanted to be there, I said, how many of me do you have? Meaning, how many white boys do you have that have like brown hair and about 5'10"? So, in my head, if you were pitching me for something, how many people are going to look like me? And she was like, none. And I'm like, I know that's not true because I know who you represent. I know some people here. And she's like, no, we don't have anybody that's like you. You are unique and there's only one of you. And I was like, oh, that's why I went to that agency. But within that, I'm asking you to take care of yourself, meaning you need to feel healthy in whatever form and shape and hygiene and fitness, whatever that is to you. Be proud of how you express yourself and what you look like. And that can be any kind of on the spectrum, okay? I also want you to take care of your soul. Now, we spend so much time nowadays focusing on the outside. What do I look like? Am I pretty enough? Is my body good enough? Blah, 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 blah. Do I like my clothes? Do I like my car? What I want you to do is you have to start inputting into your day at least 15 or 20 minutes to take care of your spirit. And that can come from reading, that can come from prayer, it can come from meditation, it can come from massages. What I want you to do is I want you to do things that take care of the inside of yourself to help balance out all the work that you do on the outside. Going to a movie, going to an art gallery, having a deep conversation with a friend, going to an exhibit, doing things that help replenish the inside, that keep you happy, that keep you sourceful, and that is going to provide some balance, because this is a hard business in Los Angeles, guys. It's a very, very difficult place to be. But what I have found for myself as far as navigating is how can I be the best version of myself every day, and what can I do in my daily process to keep myself happy. What we face when in Los Angeles is disappointment sometimes, meaning going to auditions and not getting them. Having a time where money is really difficult. Having a time where you don't feel like you're getting better in class. You're going to go through it. It's the path of an artist. But what I like to do is keep everything in my formula positive. So when I go take class, if I did one good thing or I improved on something, I have to find happiness and to be proud and loving of myself. Okay? Because one thing I'm learning is you have to honor what happens that day the way it does. as long as you commit yourself and do the best that you can, sometimes the best is not going to come out, okay? But it happened the way it was supposed to. So if you applied yourself and you worked hard, then what we have to do is find happiness and appreciation and love for that present moment. Like, okay, it wasn't my best class, but I worked hard and I did a good job. Great. If you go to an audition and you don't get it, I want you to be happy for people that have not, I want you to be happy for people that get the job. Meaning, like, you don't have to run up to be like, oh my God, congratulations. But part of this industry is supporting each other. You know, we are people's escape from life. We are the entertainment. We are the fantasy from the real world. So people come to us for that release because we have something special to say in a different way than 90% of the world, 95% of the world can say it. So we have a responsibility to lift each other up. Why? Because your time is coming. And why not be proud of the hard work that other people are putting in? Because when you get your time, I think you would want people to be happy for you. So celebrating yourself, celebrating your peers, people that you don't know, people that you do know, and then also not only engulfing yourself in dance. So it's really hard. When you love dance, you do dance all the time, you talk about dance, you dance. The balance of that is also making sure that you have a group of people or friends that are not just dancers, people that you can talk about other stuff, because you need to escape it just a little so that you have things to pull from. So when you're acting and you're dancing and they say, okay, cool, I want you to pretend that you're walking down the street and then you trip over a dog and then all of a sudden your clothes get messed up and you're angry. That's where the dance starts. You need to have life experience in order so you can process what those things are like, okay? Let me see what time it is. Oh my God, we've been talking for a while. Okay, so why don't we do this? Thank you guys for being here. Let me open it up for questions. Why don't we see what questions you have? Thanks for being here for such a long time. Poor connection, it says. Okay, go for it. I'm opening it for questions. And I'm going to scroll just a little. The unsung, so yeah, that's true. I did do the unsung. Time to organize, prepare for greatness, embrace good health, love. That's not a positive and productive week. I might be typing, so I'm looking. So I was really close. I know that you guys want to be that close. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm moving. Okay, so questions. Let me see. Do you think 29 is too late to try to move out and start in the industry? Okay, so no. Listen, if you have a voice and you want to do something, you can come out here. And the best thing about this, one thing that is difficult about our industry is the fact that it is a very young industry. However, if you want to dance with like artists and you're like, oh, I'm going to dance with Ariana Grande, and you want to dance with some younger musical artists, it is going to be a bit difficult. Not that it won't happen. It depends. One, it's going to depend on your look, depends on your talent, but the industry gets younger and younger with musical artists. However, the best thing about it is that you also have artists who are like Katy Perry, Britney Spears, Christina. You have artists that have been around for a little while. Justin Timberlake, they're my age. I mean, I'm only 22. They're a little bit older than me. So no, I don't think it's too late. And remember, this is TV and film. You can work in this business till you're 70, right? I went to an audition for Michael Rooney, and they were looking anywhere from 18 to 65. So there are plenty of things for you to do. And honestly, too, don't let age get in the way of your talent. If you have something you have to say and there's a dream that you have, you just have to go for it. And it will steer you and lead you in the path you need to go. 29 is a little bit later to come out into Los Angeles. Absolutely. Is it impossible to start working and make it? Absolutely not. Okay. Now, what are some agencies you recommend us to look into? Wonderful question. Okay. Let me give you some agencies. So, there's Block. Okay, BLOC. I'm going to sit on the floor because when I think there's so many people on the internet, it's just disappearing. Okay, Bluesy, you want me to have a sip? I should have a sip of Bluesy. Okay, Block, BLOC, GTA, which is my agency, Go-To Talent Agency, MSA, McDonald Selznick Associates. Okay? I'm just telling you so when you look them up, if you're like MSA, Dance Agency Los Angeles, you'll know what the names are. MTA, which is the movement. Clear Talent Group, which is CTG. You've got things like the Independent Artists Entertainment. And then you've got CESD, you've got DDO. So those are kind of the main agencies that are out here right now. So look into them. Again, Block MSA, GTA, The Movement, which is MTA, CTG, DDO, CESD, Independent Artists Entertainment. Those are all places that you can kind of look for agencies. Okay. Hi, Kimmy. I love you. Are there any programs you recommend doing to help with growth, learning, and connections? So, yes. For me personally out here, if you're coming to Los Angeles, a lot of the choreographers now are starting their own programs. I think Rich and Tone have a great program. Dana Foglia's program is incredible. I've actually thought about even going back and doing that just for myself. It's like a 2 or 3 month commitment, which is a lot, but the training is quite exceptional. Rhapsody has one, which is motivating excellence. Doing work study at certain programs is really good. Like Debbie Reynolds has a scholarship program. Working there is great because the kids, they have a schedule, they have a set of teachers they have to take all the time. So they actually have people come in. So like I came in and did a private class with just their dancers. Victor Rojas came in and did a private class with just their dancers. They get people all the time. And the person in charge of that is Erin Marino. Wonderful human being, known her since New York, and she also helps organize stuff at T. Millie. So, yes, those are some programs that I think are good. Some people have done the Creative Minds program, where they're in... Pause due to poor connection. It's not my internet, guys. Hi again. It's like magic. I'm like, gone, bang. Okay, so, those are some programs. LA is a big city for... my friend Leanna Blackburn sometimes has a program. Galen sometimes has a program. It just depends. They're not always long for those, but a lot of this is open classes. So that's kind of where you get a lot of your studying done. A great program is the Commercial Dance Intensive if you haven't tried it yet. We have one in Santa Barbara and one in Richmond, and then we have many locations. Plug. Okay. Do you think a college education is important for dancers wanting to work in LA, or is the best way to learn getting out there and getting experience taking class? Great question. Okay. This is always a touchy subject, especially if we have parents watching. So let me approach it a couple ways. You have to decide what you want to do. Okay? So do you need to go to college? No. Is college a possibility? Absolutely. So I went to 1 year of college. I went to NYU for 6 months and I hated it. And I went back to North Carolina School of the Arts where I came from for high school. And I was doing modern. That's what my major was, modern. I did 1 year. And then I went to New York every summer since I was 7 to train in dancing. And so when I was there, the year after my first year of college, there was an agency, CTG, Clear Talent Group, opening their branch in New York for the first time. And I was like, I'm going to audition. And if I get this, I'm dropping out of college and moving to New York. I got it. So I dropped out of college and moved to New York. Now, if you want to teach in the future and you think that you want to teach at a university or a school, college is very, very important because you have to have that. There are slowly times changing where they're trying to figure out ways to bring in teachers where like, what my career has been built on may be enough to allow me to be a professor at a place. However, you need to have a college degree in order to be a teacher. So, for Los Angeles, you can go to college. I say that it kind of depends on your craft, what your skill level is at, and also if kind of what is important to you. It's a personal thing. Some dancers have to work with their parents and they're like, listen, you have to go to college and then we'll help support you or get you out there. What I recommend is please have a conversation with your... I'm back. Please have a conversation with your parents. Have a conversation with them and talk to them and say, listen, can we just figure out a middle ground? Because they may want you to go to college and you don't want to go to college, but they'll help take care of you and pay for you for the next couple of years, which is your education and food and housing and all that kind of stuff, and say, can I try it for 2 years? And then maybe I want to go. Or speak with them, find a middle ground. Parents, please support your children. Don't tell them what they have to do, because they're trying to figure out this path on their own as well. So if you guys can just be on the same team and try to find a middle ground, is great. But no, you don't have to go to college. It is an option, but you can also just move to LA and start doing it that way. It all literally depends on you as an individual. The rain. You know, it's weird too when it rains in LA. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make this even easier. We're going to walk right over to my other bedroom. Hi, guys. Okay. So, you can move to LA without going to college. You can move to New York without going to college, or you could go to college. It's kind of a personal thing, and it determines on what you want to do with your life and your career. But there is not a right or wrong way. Okay. Do you think it's important to self-promote on our IG pages? Absolutely it is, because your Instagram page is your website now, meaning it has links to all of your material. So if you want to send out any of your dancing, you can just post that link to someone. It'll bring them right to it. It allows you to not only promote all different facets of yourself. You can do, like, this is me modeling, this is me in fitness, this is me dancing, this is me doing karate, this is me doing circus, this is me doing blah, blah, blah. Absolutely use your Instagram page as your website. And make sure that everything on there is appropriate and you can stand by it. Now, I know some parents and kids are going to be like, well, Cassidy, you have some modeling stuff. I know. I have some very risque things on my Instagram page. I love you guys. I'm sorry. But I also do many different facets. I really love art, and some of those things are a little, I may be in my underwear and I may be in my Speedo, and that's okay, because there's other things I want to do. But I want you to know, as a kid though, because I'm a grown adult, as a kid, make sure that everything is very appropriate and just shows all the different facets and avenues of who you are as an individual, because you want people to get to know you from that page. And it's free. So take advantage of having a free website. Okay? Are there any other questions? My sister says, or have a separate dance account. That's what she wants me to do. So I might need to do that soon. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate you joining. I'm sorry for the random pauses that happen. It's just because